congratulations. The first woman to head the National Security Council, so to speak. You're the first National Security Advisor. That's a woman, but this isn't the first in terms of you breaking the glass ceiling, so to speak. What do you believe, ma'am, is the edge of having someone from the academe as the National Security Advisor instead of having someone from the military?
Well, not to denigrate the military, because this has happened, Karen, I'm sure, 22 years ago at the National Defense College, where, people were just saying that I will not last 1 week, and I lasted for more than 3 years. So I'm sure you know, Karen, and you agree with me, gender doesn't matter. If you're bobo and whoever you are, bobo ka talaga. Pero if you have something there, talagang andon. So, we're not saying, Karen, that we're setting aside the military aspect of national security. But right now, tinignan ko kasi, Karen, yung equivalent ng security sa Tagalog, yung katiwasayan ng kalooban. Alam mo yun, tiwasay yung kalooban mo, na meron kang kasiguruhan, you have some fair level of certainty that you're going to live up to, let us say, 78 for women and 75 for men, yung life expectancy, and that your children can go to school, with the full protection of our laws, etc. So, national security is human security, Karen. Yun siguro ang ilalagay kong perspective as a social scientist.
And I'm curious, ma'am, will you be able to form a team? Will you be hiring or choosing members of the military to be with you?
Karen, kasi NSA Esperon has not talked to me nor has sent signal that I will be briefed, so I'm blind until I know the organization. Until I know the structure of this office, I can't say anything yet. I don't like to move when I don't know.
Well, ma'am, is this a post that you had wanted?
Let's put it this way. It's something, I've been soaked in foreign policy, defense and security for as long as 56 years, Karen. You know that, no? You've been interviewing me for 1,000 years.
Absolutely.
So, ayoko dapaan, Karen, yung hindi ko alam. So, okay lang to. Alam ko to.
Okay. All right. Let's start first with some of the things you've already said to the media. You said something interesting. The Marcos administration will be pursuing critical engagement with China. What does that mean to you?
Well, critical and constructive, actually. And China is just one direct object. It can be India, Japan, US, etc. No? What it simply means, Karen, is as a social scientist, look at all your variables, the factors and forces that go into any relationship with any country for that matter. The only reason why we are really just focusing on China is that right now, a large of our concerns, security concerns for that matter, because of the contested South China Sea, is involving this particular country. But we can very well use that brush, that prism, for the rest of our engagement. Well, critical and constructive means that we continue talking, no? Because you know what the alternative looks like. We continue talking and we're looking for commonalities. Where there are commonalities, we agree on these commonalities step by step. Incremental siya until this is called the low politics area. Yung like climate change consequences or isda, no? Ano ba yung papag-awayan nyo sa isda? Of course, merong pag-aawayan, Karen, kasi unilaterally nag-declare sila ng fishing holiday, no? So sabi natin, Karen, parang nag-declare ka dun sa aming karagatan. So medyo ba isama mo nga kami sa decision making? So those are the kinds of things that we really need to do. No?
Okay. So masasabi po natin, ma'am, na kumbaga mag-iiba ang ating foreign policy with China compared to the Duterte administration.
Hindi naman siguro mag-iiba. Siguro mag-enhance lang, which means operationally, you're going to increase the level and the scope. No?
Okay. China's ambassador to the Philippines declared that the West Philippine Sea issue can be resolved through bilateral consultation. Do you agree?
I agree. We just keep on talking. But siguro we need some changes in our language, Karen. Let's stop talking about claims on kalayaan, ano? That's ours. So, iba naman yung nagkiklaim yan. So, huwag natin gamitin yung salitang claim, Karen. Atin yun eh, di ba? So, pabayaan mo sila gumamit ng claim. Huwag natin gagamitin yung claim. Kasi atin yun eh. Sila yung nagkiklaim, di ba? Or whoever.
And what do you think will be the role of the United States under the Marcos administration with your advice when it comes to national security?
Well, there is no doubt that for as long as the 1951 Mutual Defense Treaty is in force, then let us continue under that the defense framework and let us enhance that. Kasi, Karen, how long ago is 1951? Parang maraming years na yan, ano? Especially since the United States has declared a new framework, the Indo-Pacific framework, and let us not allow these two superpowers to make our region really the contest for their spheres of influence, no? Di naman po pwedeng parang tatanga-tanga na lang tayo diyan sa ano, hindi tayo tinatanong. Please, tanungin nyo kami, lalo na yung Philippines, na talagang right smack between the United States and dyan ang Pacific Ocean to our east and the China to our west, no? So I think we should be more what is the term? We should be more aggressive and in terms of our national interests, and they have a right naman to declare what their national interests are. And where we have commonalities, di sige. And as I said, let's do it incrementally. Una muna tayo sa commonalities natin. And kanya nga, nalungkot ako, Karen, na dinis-invite nila yung China sa RIMPAC, ano? Yung Rim of the Pacific exercises. Kasama naman yan dati eh. Parang nag-iba yung tono nila sa China. Ba't hindi mo isasama yung China? Tungkol naman yan sa maritime security, tapos defense of the sea lanes, di ba? These are low politic areas.
Okay, but I'm curious, now that you're talking about maritime security, for example, with the United States, would you push for patrols with the U.S.?
Yes, but let us involve all other actors.
Okay.
Kasi ang ayoko sa Western world, parang Karen, ang favorite verb nila is to exclude, yung nakita, or to isolate. And tayo naman, ang gusto natin ay talagang to include. That is the Asian ethos eh. Yeah. The Asian cosmology is to include. Very inclusive ang Asians eh. Diba? Ibang-iba sa Western prism. Kasi sa kanila, I'm sure alam mo na yung mga dinivide nila, you know, Korea, Palestine, Cyprus, mahaba na yung listahan na yan. So, we're trying to convince them that the best way really to have international order is for us to be inclusive. No, wag yung ini-echeprera mo yung tao. I'm sure China gusto niyang mag-apply dyan sa RIMPA kasi kasama mo naman siya dati. Ba't mo siya in-exclude ngayon?
Okay, but with the Philippines, for example, will you be recommending or pushing for the enhanced, for EDCA, for example, or even a better version of the VFA?
Yeah, let's talk about that. I think that is part of the review. If the president wishes the review to be undertaken, to continue, because I think Lorenzana has started that like, I think 2 years ago, in the light of the president wanting to abrogate the VFA. Pero kasi Karen, ang dapat pakialaman mo yung treaty. Kasi legs lang naman yung BFA, EDCA, MIRSA, etc. Legs lang ito, implementing arms lang ito eh. Although yung BFA tinrato natin treaty, hindi naman siya treaty, executive agreement lang yan eh. Maraming mga, ano ba ang tawag ko doon Karen? Error in judgment and siguro wag na natin i-label yun, magkakaroon na naman ako mga kaaway nito. But yes, kung gusto mong i-review yan, i-review mo yung Mutual Defense Treaty.
Okay. Now, the United States, incoming Executive Secretary Vic Rodriguez said, we will be having a special relationship with the United States. In terms of national security, how important is that?
Well, all other actors are important.
Okay.
Especially Japan. We're not mentioning Japan, Karen, kasi siya yung top honcho insofar as our regional security arrangements are concerned. In fact, hindi ba medyo natakot tayo kasi yung si Shinzo Abe, which is nasa likod siya ni Kishida Fumio, siya talaga pinupush niya talaga magkaroon ng nuclear warhead sa Japan. Alam mo naman Karen, nandiyan lang yung Japan, naduduraan lang dyan sa North, So it's something really that concerns us. So let us also, while we're always talking about US and China, let us involve also the two other actors up there, South Korea and Japan. And yes, our security architecture will involve all the actors. Kasi inclusive tayo, Karen eh. Huwag tayo mag-i-echepwera na miski sino, including Russia. Kasi alam mo nung nasa Moscow kami, ang pinapag-usapan ng mga counterparts doon is really pivoting to to Asia, to our region. Kasi ang Russian, di ba nandiyan lang sa North yan? There is a Russian, European Russia, there is an Asian Russia, and people forget that, di ba?
What would be your top priority in, let's say, the first 100 days when it comes to national security?
Well, I will ride on what President Marcos already articulated, creating jobs which were lost during the 2-year pandemic, because job creation is a national security, Karen. As I said, ang national security mo is really to be reckoned on the individual level. Paglabas mo, wala kang pamasahe, wala kang perang panggasolina, no? Food security, security ng water sources mo, no? Security of the air that you breathe. These are all individual security issues. The only reason why ang layo ng pagka-configure natin sa national security before is kumopya na naman tayo sa Amerikano dahil konsepto natin ng security, yung lampas sa ating karagatan, which is not the case. The security that will really concern us as individuals would be human security. Yung sinabi ko na kanina, energy, food, etc.
No, but what's interesting right now is you're expanding the definition of the National Security Advisor in the country.
Dapat naman. Bakit mo naman siya hindi i-expand? 22 years ago, yun ang ginawa namin sa NDCP, di ba? We redefined the notion of national security kasi ibang-iba na yung paradigm. Remember the National Defense College noon, gusto ng Amerikano, ang tawag natin, War College, sabi natin. Ba't naman War College ang ano mo dyan? Kasi tayo yung first defense college. So sabi natin, sabihin mo na lang National Defense College. Yun nga masyado yung saklaw ng Amerika yung ating pag-iisip, pati yung ating theoretical frameworks. Amerika din, labas na tayo doon, Karen. Mag-declare tayo ng sarili nating framework because we understand ourselves best, di ba? And let us not look at our security issues from another prism, neither China's nor the US, but our prism as Filipinos.
Okay.
Diba? Do you agree?
I'm curious, may binilin ba si President-elect Marcos sa inyo?
Wala naman, sa dami nga ng mga chismisan namin, hindi, alam mo ba, hindi nga nabanggit yung NSA until I was gathering my things already, yung bag ko, that's papaalis na kami dahil andyan na yung next appointment niya. Then sabi niya, sabi niya, by the way, Professor Carlos, will you accept to be my national security advisor? Ako naman sabi ko, yes, I will. O di tapos na yung meeting. Yung doon lang napag-usapan yung NSA.
Ayun na yun.
Yun na yun.
So walang condition, walang bilin, walang kahit ano?
Hindi, kasi during the more than 1 hour, syempre marami kaming discussion about security issues. Yung education, ginawa rin namin security issue yan. So, ang dami kasi. So, parang we crochet together all these concerns. Kasi, remember, Karen, this is the first time I'm talking to the President of the Republic. Kasi before then, we did not have any link at all except during the debates, di ba? And this is like, hindi, that's not the kind of link that would enable you to have involved discussion. And I think we will have more and more of this in the future.
Okay. Now, as National Security Advisor, you will have a say on the role of the NTF-LCAC. And I read that you want it to continue.
Yes, where you have successes. Kasi hindi pa ako previous sa nitty-gritty, yung mga detalya nila. So pag-aralan ko pa yan. Where you have success, Karen, ituloy mo siya. Para namang katangahan na success ka na nga tapos hindi mo itutuloy. Pag failure, di wag mong ituloy. Alam mo na nga lubak yan, wag mong ituloy. Pero one thing siguro, which to the extent of, to the extent of my mandate as NSA, I would like to stop red tagging. Labels do not produce anything. Hindi siya productive, no? Karen, komunista ka, socialista ka. Does it produce anything? It doesn't even explain you as a person, no? Labels are, ano ba yon? For a lack of a better word, yung tamad na it's a lazy way to ID people. So, tapusin na natin yung mga red tagging na yan because it is not productive. Ang energy natin, ilagay natin on the ground, addressing inequalities, lack of opportunities, really, wala ng karapatan yung mga tao na to na mag-dream, maging journalist tulad mo, maging scientist tulad ko. Pag pinatay mo yung kanyang kinabukasan, hahawak yan ng baril. Is that too difficult to understand? Diba? So, tigilan na yung red tagging kasi wala nang katuturan yan. Parang waste lang ng laway natin, di ba? At saka marami pang nagagalit.
Oo.
Kasi sa social science kasi, Karen, yung label, pag naubusan ka na ng cogent arguments, so nagli-label ka na, nag-ad hominem ka na, that's not the way to go. So, to the extent that I can, sana tigilan na natin yan, di ba?
Oo. And I'm curious because there are people in the NTFL-CAC who actually red tag. What will you do with them?
Well, if they have a contract, I will allow their contract to lapse. Kaya hindi ko nga alam pa kung ano yung struktura kanya. I don't like to say anything yet. I'm blind, Karen. I'm blind insofar as the structure of the office is concerned.
Okay.
So,
all right. Are you still open to continuing peace talks with communist rebels?
tama na yan, peace talks na yan, Sus Mariosep. Parang I'm sure, Karen, bata ka pa, ginagawa na natin yan, ano? So, we're done with peace talks. We have agreement on certain things, let us proceed with that. Ganun tama na yung peace talks, no? Alam na natin what to do. But let us just invite them to be participant in the change. Di ba, huwag natin siyang exclude. Kasi ganyan yan even in research, di ba? Yung conceptual framework natin, Karen, kung tayo may joint research, tayong dalawa mangingialam niyan. Include them. Di ba, i-include mo sila sa pagpa-implement nito on the ground. Dahil hindi naman pwede na lang sila reklamo na ng reklamo, yan, yan, tumatakbo sa kalye. It's not the way to do it. Please, yung energy nyo sa kalye, please magtulungan na lang tayo na ayusin on the ground yung mga kailangang ayusin. Di ba?
But without peace negotiations, do you fear this will affect national security, especially in the provinces?
Well, I don't know what peace negotiations still need to be done. And by the way, let us not talk to people who are not here, no? Nasa ibang geography na kayo, wag na kayong mangialam dito sa amin, ano? Kasi kami nangingialam and we know what is going on here. So yung peace councils, Karen, kasi documented na yan Tagal na yan The peace councils, they work. What works? You replicate them and let's continue doing that. Success kasi di ba? Tama na yung negotiation. I mean, saliva lang ang na-waste yan. I don't like to waste my saliva on this thing. I don't like to waste my effort on these things. Diba?
What kind of national security advisor will you be?
Nako, Karen, 76 na ako, I will not change. It's difficult for me. Pero siguro, just to dismiss the fears of people na I'm a super arrogant person, hindi po. Kasi alam ni Karen to, ganito na talaga ako magsalita. Kasi guro ako minsan 50 yung estudyante mo. Hindi mo ba lalakasan ang boses mo? Kaya akala tuloy ng mga apo ko, Karen, palagi akong sumisigaw.
Oo. Alam niyo, matanong ko lang, no, Professor, how is your relationship with UP? I know that you issued a statement when they didn't include you in the roster. Now that you're National Security Advisor, has anyone reached out to you?
No one, and I don't care if nobody reaches out to me because I am my own person. Okay, I got to full Professor 12, the highest rank in the university, through sheer hard work. I didn't have to kiss ass with anybody. I just published and became the best teacher. No one can erase that record, no? And of course, I will run after you with hammer and tongs if you do that. A full Professor 12 cannot be, you cannot dismiss that. Oh, wag mo ako ilagay sa roster. Kasi retired na ako 11 years na akong retired, ba't hindi mo ginagawang issue yun? Ginawa mong issue yan kasi yung gusto niyo, hindi yung gusto ko. Diba? That's the issue So let's not quibble about that. Parang katangahan na gagawing issue yung retired or active. Whenever, Karen, did I admit na active ako? Di ba that sheer idiocy? So, nobody can diminish me, Karen. I am my own person. I got to where I am through sheer hard work and determination and perseverance.
Yeah.
So, but they cannot take away my full Professor 12 because I earned that over the past 56 years.
Nakakalungkot lang, ma'am, na kumbaga with everything you've done with and for UP, that it would end this way.
Well, it should not end that way.
Yeah.
My concern, Karen, is beyond, my differences with some people in my department. No? Some of whom I don't even know because they're new. And I don't care to know them, by the way. Nakikiver sa akin yan. But I think my concern is wider than that. And that is a societal concern. Alam mo kung nabasa mo yung Orwell, yung 1984 na novel niya, yung thought police, Karen. Ang thought police kasi, kapag ikaw ay magsalita against the regime, which is ostensibly an authoritarian regime, ipipress ako or papatayin ka. Are we having a thought police? Gusto niyo bang busalan ako? Dahil gusto niyo to sing the same song like you're singing? No. I will not allow that because this is a liberal democracy that we are, that a system that we chose. Liberal democracy means I will allow Karen, Clarita, Carlos, etc. to articulate what they want to say within the bounds of law. Di ba tama yan? O gusto niyo ba authoritarian regime na pare-pareho na lang tayo? Mali ata yan.
And are you optimistic, Professor? I'm still calling you Professor, soon Secretary Carlos, that under the Marcos...
yung Professor, Karen.
Under the Marcos administration, this will not be for naught. In other words, you know, free speech, you just talked about it, liberal democracy. You believe this will flourish under this administration?
Yes, I am very, very optimistic. I'm very glad that the present administration of President Marcos had chosen scientists, scholars like us, Karen, because it means that science is the center of decision-making. Hindi ba? Alam mo yan, yun talagang pinapaglaban natin from the beginning. That is why I have a think tank. Because we're putting science in everything. Legislation, dapat may siyensya yan. May number ka dyan, dapat yung number na yan madedefend mo from a scientific perspective, di ba? Kaya I'm very, very optimistic because from the things that I know about the president thus far, I think we are on the same page on most things, and that is also including science in decision-making.
All right, on that note, before we go, is there anything you'd like to say, ma'am? Anything you'd like to close with?
Nako, please ha, tigilan nyo na yung gender issues ha, kasi ayan na si Karen ha. Huwag nyo nang pag-usapan yan dahil you're just wasting my time. If you ask questions about that, you ask me more involved questions, pwede?
Okay. So talaga ba, ma'am? I'm just curious because I did read an article questioning why it was you, but are you really getting criticism because of your gender?
Yeah, tell me about it. But you know, as I said, if you pay attention to all barking dogs, wala ka nang pupuntahan.
Oo,
no?
totoo.
So, I really don't care. Pero Karen, I'm sure you know that kasi pareho tayong
Yeah.
feisty
Yeah.
no? If you are your own person, you don't care. You know?
Oo. Well, all
We
right.
don't allow, and Karen, we don't allow anybody to diminish us, di ba?
I think on that note, ma'am, I want to wish you well and good luck. And it's going to be exciting to see where this goes. Clearly, you've shared some of your thoughts early on. And it might be a big shift in policy when it comes to national security under your watch.
Exciting is an understatement.
All right. Thank you very much, ma'am. You take care.
You take care too.